I want to officially welcome all of you who are here on the live call and anyone who is watching and listening to the recording. It is really the highlight of my day to be here with you. You have no idea. I'm so happy to connect with my tribe. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. I'm Deborah Wayne. If you don't know me, many of you, I see the names that I recognize are back for more, which always tells me there's a reason. There's something going on here, right? If you're new to this universe, you're going to find out today. We don't speak the same language. We don't think the same thoughts. We have a different universe going on here outside the conventional box that will keep you in a jail cell of pain if you allow it to. So good for you. Good for you for seeking, for not giving up, for being willing to check something out that maybe is new and different. And for those of you, and I know there are many of you who have tried everything and you still are experiencing things like chronic pain, depression, anxiety, digestive drama, insomnia, trauma, accidents, injuries, things that just don't heal no matter what you try. I know there are a lot of you as I see those emails. I see those social media posts and I know you're suffering. And I'm really glad you didn't give up hope because the bus stops here. This is the last block, a bus on the block stop on the bus stop. But it's a good place to land. And you didn't give up and now you're here. And so there's a part of you that knows. There's a part of you that knows you're not supposed to be living constantly in pain. This is not normal. This is not aging. This is just not okay. And so give yourself a bit of a pat that you listened, even though I'm sure, like myself, you probably spent many nights crying yourself to sleep. Anybody? Wondering, how am I going to get through this? How am I going to live like this? What if it goes on and on and on and longer and longer? It's a tough road when you have some kind of illness or pain or symptom of any kind and nothing shows up on a test. And people start to think, give you that look like maybe it's all in your head. Maybe they even say that to you. Or you start to think it because you don't know what to do and you've gone everywhere that you know to go to figure it out. And you've, Dr. Googled all night long and you just can't seem to put the puzzle together. You've landed here for a reason. Because I too went through a very dark night of the soul and had a massive health crisis, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, career, it all fell apart, all in 1 month, all in the same month. This is many years ago now. And I did not know how I was going to get through it. And in fact, I tried to escape it, which I don't recommend because I tried numbing it out, drugging it out, pretending it wasn't there, imagining it would just somehow magically go away, ignoring it, pretending everything's fine when it wasn't fine at all. Don't recommend that. And I have been able to get out the other side and in my own healing journey discovered this incredible realm and work that involves the energy field, the universal life force energy, chi, prana, the 0 point field, your biofield, your energy field, divine mind, the source, God. There are many different names people might call this or think about it in that way. But I promise you it is real. And since my own journey began over 35 years ago now, I've never looked back because I discovered there's a world beyond the mind and trying to figure it out all the time. Just trying so hard to figure it out intellectually is not it's not that that's bad or wrong to try to figure things out. And some of it's quite interesting, and I've learned a lot, but that's not what fixes it. And I don't know about you, but if my car breaks down and I have to pull off the road and I call AAA, I don't ask them, could you explain to me how the motor works and why it stopped working today? I ask for someone to help me come and fix it so I can keep on driving. So if you're here because you are suffering, and I know you're here because either you or someone you love is suffering, you are in the right place. Because I found the path, and I found there's a 3-part solution. And I've spent decades now in a career that I never expected. It was not my dream to do this. And I'm delighted to be doing it now. It's so rewarding to see people experience miracles, what other people would call miracles, or what a lot of doctors have said to me, well, that's impossible. We live in the realm of the impossible here, and I love sharing that with people and helping you get out of your jail cell. How many of you have at least 1, 2, or 3 physical issues going on? Raise your hand, wave at me, give me a thumbs up, a heart, or something. Oh, everybody's waving at me. Yeah, okay, wow. And yeah, participate. I need to know what's going on. How many of you are here because you have also, with the physical stuff, you have emotional, like you feel anxious or depressed, you feel resentful, you feel hopeless, helpless, scared, don't know what to do, and so the fear comes up, right? Yeah. Yeah, emotions and the body, the physical, they cannot be disconnected. You might be more aware of one than the other, but they go together, hand in glove. How many of you have tried at least 1, 2, 3 different things to try to fix the issues you're waving at me about? All right, give me a thumbs up, give me a heart, let me know. Yes, yeah. Yes, that's what I thought. See, you are my people. Just know that. You have
And
not
pet it too.
Could you please stay muted for me? Thanks, everybody. You have not been forgotten by me, I'll tell you that. And I share empathy, but I don't sympathize. That might sound funny. I don't feel sorry for you because I now know that I know you did the best you could. And if you could have fixed yourself by now, you would have. You tried what you knew to do. But nobody showed you the way out and helped you go deep enough and asked you deeper questions than where does it hurt? See, the world is very focused on symptoms. And please write this down. The symptoms that you have are never, underline never, the root cause of the problem. The symptoms are never the root cause of the problem. But you could spend, how many of you have spent 10 years, 20 years, 30 years going from practitioner to practitioner, all talking about the symptoms and focus on trying to fix the symptoms? Lots of people do this. I did it. I did it for 14 years. And most of the people I work with, every day somebody says, I've spent 20 years doing this. And there is nothing more exhausting, frustrating, that will make you feel angry, resentful, scared, alone than doing that. But see, it's not that they are bad. Many of these practitioners do the very best they can with the training that they have. They are not trained to help you look deep enough. They're trained to look at symptoms and to try to just help the symptom either, go away for a while, but that's not what we want. We want to get back into our natural state, which is a state of greater ease and comfort than we've been told. And here's the other thing I want you to pay close attention to, because you don't hear this, because they don't understand this. every symptom you have is actually trying to help you. And it has a message for you. And it's trying to guide you to get back on the right path, on the right track for you. It is actually trying to help you. But that is not what we've been taught. We've been taught basically the symptom's the enemy, let's cut it out or drug it out. Let's just get rid of it, control it, manage it, cope with it. You won't hear that around here. And that's why I say welcome, because this is a new universe. It's a very different. And I will say that it's quite incredible. Once you may need to hear these messages quite a few times for it to kind of sink in and to start to have a different experience of your own. On this call tonight, some of you may find, and if raise your hand or give me a heart if you already noticed this, some of you may start to find that as I speak, all of a sudden you just feel kind of drowsy and sleepy and you can't, there it goes. And you can't really pay attention to what I'm saying because you feel a little spacey, like you're going into that state before you fall asleep. See the hands going up? You may feel tingly, you may feel spacey, you may feel like you just want to lie down. You know why that is? Because even my voice, my whole field, which you are now soaking in, you are now connected to my field, and I carry healing frequencies in my field 24/7. I'm not separate from them. They are part of me, and they emit and transmit to you, whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. You don't have to have faith in it. You don't have to understand it for it to start affecting you. So some people just like to hang out in my energy. They don't really care what I have to say, which is fine. I'm not insulted. But I have a lot to teach you too, because once you understand and you feel it, ooh, that's the $1,000,000 golden nugget. Once you understand it and you feel it and you have your own personal experience, there's nowhere else to look to fix the problem. And that's why I'm so passionate about this. I hate seeing people suffer when I know there is a solution and that there's just a piece of the puzzle missing. And there are 3 pieces. One has to do with your mind, your habits of thought. The second has to do with your emotions that you don't like and don't want and are trying to get rid of or ignore, medicate or smoke or drink or eat them away. And the third is this energy field I'm talking about. There's disturbances in your energy field, but let me back up a second. So if you feel spacey, it's because my voice transmits healing frequencies. My picture, my photo, my live being, and you being on this call, you're receiving healing frequencies, whether you get that or not, whether you believe it or not. The work that I do, that I teach, and the things I share with you are based on certain principles from physics. Now, I am not a physicist. I am not here to claim to be a physicist. I don't understand everything about quantum physics, but I will tell you, I was shown in my darkest moment, my darkest night of my dark night of the soul moment, I was shown what took me many years to discover were all the basic foundational principles from quantum physics. And I was shown, literally, I could see, feel, hear, touch, sense a new reality. And I understood for the first time that everything is changeable. Everything in the physical universe, it is not permanent. It's not even physical. It's made of energy and light and sound and vibration. Everything. The walls, your body, the floor, the computer, look around your room. Everything that you see that's physical is made of energy and light and sound and vibration. And guess what the good news is? All of that is changeable. We know from science that energy can change form, and it does change form all the time. Now, how does this apply to you? Because your pain, your symptoms, the labels you've been given, they're also made of energy, which means they're also changeable. And this is not me just making it up. For years, I knew it was true, but I didn't even have anything to base it on other than the guidance I was shown in a meditation, in quite a few meditations, actually. I had really a profound experience that just rocked me to the core. It changed my whole belief system about everything. And it's what gave me hope to not give up and to not stop. And I also was told that I would first heal and then I would be able to help others. And I remember thinking, yeah, right. Like, I just want to be able to sleep without a pill. That's all I could think about, I just want the pain to stop, the fear to stop 24/7, the negative critical committee up here to just shut up for a minute and give me some peace. That's all I wanted. I had no clue what was right around the corner and that my whole life was about to shift into the most profound life and the most profound career. And it was, I just didn't see it coming. And that's why you may be there too. And so I know you maybe have suffered a long time and are still, but you cannot give up hope because you do not know what's right around the corner. And you would not be here even if you're skeptical, which is fine with me. Go right ahead. I welcome all skeptics. Even if you're here and even if you're skeptical and even if you don't believe in this and even if you're not sure yet, that's okay. Just don't stop being open to seeking. Because like me, I never thought everything was about to change for the better. So you could be in that same spot. And it's very easy to get discouraged. And with all the, pardon my French, BS going on in the world today, with just such disruption and chaos that is unnecessary, but it's obviously necessary for us to, again, go through certain learning. As a planet, as a human race, we're learning, I hope. But you are, and you're ahead of the curve. And that's also why you're here, because you see, we can't have health if we don't understand that what we see out there in the world is a reflection of our consciousness. Your body is a reflection of your consciousness. Let's go down the rabbit hole a little deeper here. Your body did not get up this morning and say, I'm going to make Jane's life miserable. I'm going to give Nancy a stomachache. I'm going to make Vicky have insomnia. I'm going to have Margie have her thyroid not work. That's not how it works. And this is what you're not hearing out there when you go to try to figure it out. Your physical body is actually a reflection of your mental, emotional, and energetic state of being, of mind, your consciousness. Your thoughts and your emotions make up your state of consciousness. Let me say that again. Your thoughts and your emotions, especially the ones you repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, and you just can't seem to stop them, they actually start to press out, express in your physical body. They are giving you feedback on what you're doing that you don't even realize you're doing that contributes to the problem you're trying to get rid of. Think about this. If you get this one thing that I'm saying, your whole life could change right here today. September 11th, not an accident that this would be today. The whole world changed on September 11th a long time ago. Seems like a blink of an eye. Your whole world could change on this September 11th for the better. If you're willing to let the old world collapse like it did, you see, it's a mental understanding that's incorrect about health and healing. We don't just slap a Band-Aid on it. We don't take 2 Valiums and try to sleep. We don't eat a pizza and a case of beer and then think, oh, I'm fine, that doesn't fix anything. Everything that has ever happened to you, you know where you can find it? It's recorded in your biofield. The energy field that some people like to call woo-woo and weird, it's the key to our health and life. It's been around for centuries. It's ancient wisdom and it's new science. It's both. And we're living in the most exciting times because the new science, the biofield science, and the ancient spiritual wisdom is coming together saying the same thing in a different way. And so if you like science, you're in the right place. If you're an atheist and don't want to hear the word spiritual, you're in the right place because it's about energy. It's all about your energy, my energy. And we live in an ocean, a gigantic ocean of energy, and we're all interconnected, which is why you can feel things happening just by showing up on Zoom. And you know what else? I hear this from a lot of people too. The people that often will book appointments with me privately or join my group, or even come on a call like this, they'll send me an email and go, Deborah, do you think it's possible? The weirdest thing happened. The minute I booked that appointment, the minute I went to your website, the minute I signed up for the call, I started noticing my symptoms lifting and feeling lighter and better. And I felt calmer and I slept that night and on and on and on and on. Right, Margie? You get it. You see, when you have the intention, which is what you have when you signed up for this call, whether you knew you were setting an intention or not, you had an intention to be here, or you wouldn't be here and you wouldn't have signed up. The minute you did that, you connected via the one energy field in which we're all interconnected. You connected to me by doing that. When you signed up for this call, when you book an appointment, when you come to any of my events or my courses or anything like that, when you read my book, when you watch a video I do, when you go to my social media, you're connecting to my vibrational field like that because there's no time and space in the quantum realm. This is a higher realm, a faster frequency than it is in 3D. You don't have to come over here and be in my room with me for me to help you. This is what's so exciting. Thought travels at the speed of light. And we can transfer thought. And more than that, faster than the speed of light. Now, the old science says that's not possible, but I'm here to tell you, I see it happening every day, and I have for years. And the new science explains it, and explains it better than I do. We are interconnected. We always were. We forget, we don't know it. We feel it and then we don't feel it. We feel like life lets us down. God lets us down. The source, the universe, the angels, the guides, whatever you believe in, the 0 point field, the science you might think has let you down. And that's only because we lost the connection somehow. We looked out a different window. It didn't move. We did. So the work to do is to get ourselves back in alignment with the consistent source of all good. You can call that whatever you like. I call it God. Now, in the early days, if you said the word God around me, I would have run out the door and thrown the book at you. I had a lot of issues with my belief system because of how I was raised. And I was also very angry at God. And I thought of God as a man in the sky, which is now not my understanding. And so I had to work through that. So don't be offended if I say the word God. It probably is your own belief system getting in the way. Just replace it and say universe or quantum field. Don't let that hang you up. And I'm actually happy and proud of the fact that I was able to work through all that belief system false beliefs that were getting in the way of me understanding that, wow, it really is all a mystical, magical journey here. Once you see, it's quite incredible. And that there's a plane higher than the mental plane. And when we tap into that, and people tap into it all the time, but by accident. When they have during childbirth, many people will tap into it. Sometimes during sex, people tap into it. Sometimes with drugs, which I'm not advocating at all, but people tap into it on purpose or by accident. Um, People tap into it when they sometimes are dancing or listening to certain music, or they're out in nature, or they're meditating, or they're dreaming, like right before or during dreams. You can tap into this, but it's difficult for most people. They say, they got a glimpse, but that was it. And they didn't know how to get back there and sustain that to be able to affect their health. Or they tell me, well, we're aware of all this intellectually, but how does that affect me in a personal way? So the beauty of what I was shown is that I was able to tap into this in a personal way and then be able to transmit to other people to help you in a personal way. And although I cannot and do not make any guarantees, because I am not God and I do not claim to have all the answers. In fact, I don't have any answers. You have your own answers, and my job is to help you find your own answers that are inside of you and get back in your own power. So you're not relying on me the rest of your life. I don't want that. I want to help you get the get out of jail card free so you can fly on your own. And and yet I am able to consciously at will take this gift I was shown and use it 24/7. In fact, it's become so effortless to me. I don't feel like I'm even doing anything. And everyone can learn to do this, by the way. I do have practitioner training for this reason, because you may want to learn this someday. And I recommend it because, quite frankly, I believe we're headed there as a society. I believe we are all headed to this place where we understand how to tap into what I call inner technology. It does not require any outer technology. I'm not using, people always ask me, are you using lasers and, you know, biomats and all these things, which are wonderful things, but they are a stepping stone to what I've been able to practice and access on my own. And so you may want to do that someday too, because, okay, don't shoot the messenger. So I know you're here because something hurts, and I am getting to that, I promise. But the fact is, what really is happening is something much bigger that people don't realize, and your pain and your symptoms are trying to get you to see this. We're all on an energetic, spiritually expansive journey. And so your skills, your abilities are going to increase over time. And you're going to find that as these symptoms go away, that you're more and more, you'll realize there's a lot of information in this field that was there all along, but you couldn't see it, feel it, hear it, taste it, smell it, because you were focused on your back pain and your hip pain and your carpal tunnel and your teeth. And so I love helping people rapidly release these things so they can discover that you're way bigger than a limited human being. You're having a human experience, yes, but you are a divine human that has way more abilities than anyone ever told you. And you wouldn't be here if you weren't ready to hear this, whether you like it or not. And you may not be ready to step fully into that, but you need to hear this for some reason, or you wouldn't be in my world. And you may be having a classic battle between your soul or higher self, or whatever you like to call that, and your personality. These two guys like to fight. Your personality, or some people call it ego, your personality got programmed like a computer. Sounds very cold, and it is, but your You got programmed when you were very young, just like a computer, and there was no virus protection. Any file that went in there went in there. And your system said, yes, just download me with files. And you weren't able before the age of 8 or 9 to even know what's true and what's false, what's going to help me, what's going to hurt me. It just says yes. And all those things formed the foundation of your belief system. And those beliefs may still be with you today, 60, 70, 80 years later. Your 6-year-old's running your life and you don't even know it. And here's the real kicker. These beliefs, these thoughts generate emotions. Now, in my case, for example, I got the thought very young, at a very early age, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't smart enough, that I wasn't pretty enough, that I would never amount to much, and that I better try harder and try to be perfect. And somehow I got the idea that that was actually possible, to be perfect. Now, if you got a message similar or some other message, but the message, you are not good enough, does that make us feel better or worse? Duh, right? It made me feel worse about myself. And the more I thought that, heard that, the more I saw the proof of it out there, because I actually was looking for it, but I didn't know I was looking for it because I was programmed with it. Your brain has a certain part of the brain, your limbic system, it will filter out what doesn't agree with your belief system. So now you're really in a bind because you got beliefs from somebody else. You don't know you have these beliefs. They're filtering out anything to the contrary. And you're in this little universe with those beliefs. And now you're starting to see the proof of those beliefs. This goes on your whole life until one day you're either so miserable and you're looking around and you're thinking, like I did, how come nobody else is as miserable? Or how come other people heal, or other people don't have pain, or other people can sleep? And like, why me? Why me? Has anyone but me had that thought? Anybody? Yeah. Now, that's actually why I wrote my book. And if you haven't done so yet, there's a free copy of this book on my website. Please read it. It's like a workbook. And it takes this conversation deeper. Why do I still hurt? That was my chant, right? So you're going to find more answers and more questions that you need to ask yourself in that book. If you go to internationalcpi.com right away, you'll find a way to download it to any device. And if you want the real thing, go to Amazon and put my name in, or why do I still hurt? And it will come up. So these beliefs generate emotions that make you feel either better or worse, better or worse. And then the emotions generate more thoughts. And now you're back and you've got thoughts and emotions and thoughts and emotions, and you're on a merry-go-round. And you can't get off because you don't know how. And so all you can do, is focus on what hurts. Because you're probably thinking thoughts that make you feel worse most of the time. And you repeat them and repeat them and repeat them. And unknowingly, guess what happens? They show up in the body as feedback. Write this down. Your body's giving you feedback. My body is giving me feedback. My body is not the enemy. My body is giving me feedback. Please write that down. Your body's trying to help you say something's off in the thinking and the emotions. Not you're a bad person, it's your karma, it's your genetics, you'll never heal, you're defective, God's punishing you. No, stop with those thoughts. That's not what's happening. What's happening is, most likely, in most cases, and I'm generalizing, yes, because I already know some of you are thinking, but Deborah, I had a car accident. I fell off my skis and I broke my leg. This is just physical. Guess what? No, it isn't. The days we have accidents, there are reasons that we're out of alignment that we even end up having an accident. Haven't you ever noticed on the days that you're rushing, you drop things, break things, you make mistakes, you forget, you lose your keys, you lock yourself out of the car. The fear is running the show. And you're more susceptible for different reasons. And it's fear that causes that. So I don't want to lose my train of thought. So you got these beliefs that were programmed, they generate emotions. The emotions generate more thoughts. You end up on this merry-go-round. You can't get out of the building into the hallway or outside. You're just on it. And you can stay on it for a long time until something jolts you out of it. And usually, unfortunately, it's some kind of crisis, like a health crisis or a money crisis or a relationship crisis that you weren't expecting. These are your friends. As crazy as that sounds, these crises are your friends because you may not have even started looking in a different direction if that hadn't happened. And that's my story. And then boom, unexpected awareness explained it all. So if you always think the same thoughts and you always have the same feelings, nothing will change in your body. In fact, it will only get worse because your body's giving you the feedback to try to help you to get back into a place of more ease and freedom. I found there are 13 hidden invisible reasons that lie at the root of pain patterns and symptoms. I found 13. And I'm going to be teaching about these in depth. Well, not all of them, but some of them. I'm going to share every single one of them. I'm going to explain them, and then I'm going to go into depth on some of them in a deeper way that are like the top ones. On September 19th, it's coming up, I have my favorite event to do. It's where you spend the day with me. Not the whole day, don't panic. We get a break. But it basically is the whole day. I'm doing you may have gotten an email, I hope you did. It's called the High Speed Healing Full Day Experience. And I've got to change the name because people got pissed off at me because it's not a full day. I didn't mean to lie. It's not a full day, but it is. It's meant to be a full day for you where you come in the morning, and we spend at least 2.5 to 3 hours together. Sometimes I run over because people are so into it. Then we take a big break. We start at 10 a.m. and we go to 12:30. Usually it's more like 1:30. Then we take a break and come back at 5. And then we stay till 7:30 or 8. It's 2 parts. And in the middle of the day, there's an assignment where I'm going to give you the list of these 13 and you can work on them and then bring your questions back later. It's life-changing once you see these 13 reasons. And I want you to learn, it's not like you have to learn them, but I want you to see yourself on the list because you'll start to think about your pain and symptoms completely different way. For example, I'll tell you right now, one that's very common that I bet some of you here today, raise your hand or give me a heart if this relates to you. If you find that, if you've ever noticed that your pain flares up when you're around negative people, when there's, right? You start to feel drained. You start to feel not like yourself. They walk away and they feel great, but you go home and you're like sick for 2 days. You just want to sleep, right? Look at the hearts going up. You may be picking up on other people's energy. We're all doing this and don't know it and don't know that it's one of the main root causes of pain, suffering, and symptoms. And if it goes on long enough, I work with very urgent cases one-on-one. And people are bedridden over this. I have people 20 years have not gotten out of bed because they don't know what to do with their energy and they're so open. They take it on from everybody and everything and every TV show they watch, and it's debilitating. It could kill you. And that sounds so dramatic, but it's really true. So you need to know what these are so you can start spotting what has to change that your body's trying to help you and you just didn't know how to interpret it. So come to my event on the 19th and spend the day. And let me quickly put the link to that in the chat here. Hold on, where's the chat? The URL, or would someone type it in the chat for me to everyone? It is hh.internationalcpi.com. hh.internationalcpi.com. Would someone type that in the chat so everyone can see it? Can't multitask very well. I'm like such a focused person that I can't type and talk at the same time. I can't drive and talk at the same time. Let's see. Would someone there? Thank you. Thank you, Ramona and Jai and Todd. Thank you. So you can click on that link, and I think that the ones with the HTTPS probably will open. I'm not sure if just the HH will. So when you go there, you can look at it later. It's very affordable. I made it with a choose your price as low as $27 so that everyone could afford to attend the day, because I feel it's that important. And I want to reach millions of people with this information this year. And so don't let that worry you. Just attend. Back to what I want you to know today and take with you. I want you to ask yourself a question. Actually, type in the chat, everybody. What are the top 3 things that you feel in your body from the dis-ease label that you've been given, or that you call it, or that you think you have, or your pain? Anything that's causing you pain. When I say pain, I don't mean just back pain. Like anything that's going on that you don't like and don't want and are trying to get rid of. That's pain. List in the chat the top 3 things that I would feel if I was in your body. Or in some cases, for some of you, it might be that I would be hearing if I was in your head. Type those in the chat. Now, throat blockages are not a feeling. Feelings are things like, I feel tired, I feel stabbing, I feel emotional, I feel angry, I feel afraid, I feel pulsing, I feel, give me actual things that I would feel in your body. Don't give me any labels. You might feel hopeless in your body. You might feel weak. You might feel crowded. There are interesting things that you might be feeling: sadness, overwhelmed, disgusted, numb. Now we're talking. Okay, I don't want to be here. That's not a feeling, but I know what you mean. You mean, you might mean angry. Okay, stabbing pain, constant craving, difficult pressure, anxiety, no more will to live. See, this is what I want to know. What would I feel if I were inside of you? Yeah? Used, betrayed, ignored, right. Okay, keep them coming. Keep the comments coming for another minute, and then I'm going to ask you a different question that I want you to also take a look at here. I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So number 1, all right, let's do this next. Close your eyes and just listen to what I'm about to say, and don't get worried about right or wrong or getting it right. You're going to be just fine. Close your eyes, and I want you to go into your body. And the things that you just shared with me that you feel in there, like tense or tired or stabbed or abused or betrayed or angry or tight or tense or exhausted. I want you to go back to before all of this showed up in your life and in your body. And I want you to look at your life and remember, even a year or 2 or 3, it could be even more, before this showed up, was there anything going on in your life where you felt, fill in the blank with the things that you just shared with me, where you felt exhausted or stabbed in the back, where you felt tense, where you felt scared or not safe. The words you gave me, was there anything or anyone in your life that stabbed you in the back, that was pressuring you, that was harming you, abusing you, that was making you feel burning, that burned you? Was there anything or anyone in your life that made you not feel safe, that caused you harm? And write that down and put that in see, the yeses are coming in. Put that in the chat, please. Yes, Mary said, wow, Deborah, rejected. Yes, yes, the yeses are coming in. Type in the chat. Yes, see, yes, God, yes. Yes, kicked out of my house. Yes, yes. The yes after yes after yes is coming into the chat. Now, here's what I want you to see that no one's shown you before. Your life experiences either make you feel better or worse. If they make you feel worse for long enough, and sometimes it doesn't take very long at all, some big, shocking, horrible thing that happens, you can show up with a symptom in your body immediately. I can manifest physical symptoms from an unexpected fear in 2 seconds flat. I can take anger and have full-blown swollen glands and flu-like symptoms in 2 minutes. I am not exaggerating. Your life is what's showing up in your body. Your life story, your body, write this down. My body is telling the story of my life. My body tells the story of my life. That's what's happening. Anna, please mute yourself. That's what's happening in your health. It's telling the story of your life that you did not know how to release and resolve. The life experiences you didn't know how to resolve properly. So the body symptoms started coming out sideways. Now, don't get upset by this. The good news is, no matter how long you've had this, no matter how long it's gone on, or what the issues were, or how traumatic they were, it's still changeable. Because guess what? Back to what I started to tell you earlier and got off track. Your biofield is the key, the missing key, because your biofield is like a recording device. It has recorded every single experience you have ever had. And in your biofield, it records it like music, like a record. Remember record players? Some of you might, and some of you might not. Records are sound recorded on a record that we played on a player. And now we don't have that. We have a digital version. But every life experience is like music. It's sound, it's vibration. And it got recorded in your energy field as either harmonious or a disturbance. It is vibration, every experience. And guess what? More good news. I can scan your field, whether you're 2 feet in front of me, whether you live in Tasmania, whether you're not even on the Zoom call, whether you're in a group of 1,000, 10,000 people, I can scan your energy field. And guess what I can help you do? Harmonize your energy field and release the disturbances. This, my friends, is the 21st century tool we have all been hoping for and should be grateful we lived long enough to have it happen. Because who wants to live in pain? Who wants to suffer? Who wants to feel childhood trauma 80 years later? I don't. Nobody wants to go back and work on it. Of course not, because it's so horrible. It feels terrible. You want to learn, and talking about it doesn't necessarily release it. That's the problem. And I am not against talk therapy. I used to be one. But the deal is, it doesn't necessarily release it. And in fact, in many cases, it actually exaggerates the symptoms that people don't want. So we have to have a tool to release, to find and release and resolve. And once it gets resolved, you're like a different person. And this can happen in the quantum field instantaneously or in a very short time. That people say, well, that's impossible. How could I've been suffering from my childhood trauma or from this car accident, from the surgery that went bad. I've had this in my family. Everyone has had this. I've been told I'm going to die. And again, I'm not a doctor. I am not making medical claims, and I'm not giving medical advice or implying that. I'm not telling you this should replace your medical care. You can do this along with anything else you're doing. But it will shake you up when you see what's possible with this. It's the next it's our future. You see, we're here to expand the human experience into a quantum. If you don't like the word divine, just use quantum. Into a quantum experience where our abilities to release, to change, to heal, to harmonize are like this. Now, I bet a lot of you have studied things like the law of attraction, and you're trying to manifest good health and money and love and all this, right? I'm sure many of you have. And you're probably frustrated because you think things like, well, if I created it, I should be able to uncreate it. Anybody have that thought? And then you beat yourself up because you are mad at yourself because you created this, you created this in your body, and then you can't get rid of it. I know I'm talking to you. I know. First of all, never beat yourself up again. There's something you must learn from this. And it has to do with your thoughts and your emotions. It's usually emotions too that people don't want to feel because they think they're supposed to always be in love, light, and joy. I'm going to pull out my BS-ometer for that one because it isn't possible. And even if it is, which it is possible, I delete what I just said. It is possible, but see, you aren't in there. You're not there yet. And so what you're avoiding and you're going around, over and under, and you're not really feeling is things like anger, resentment, fear, guilt, disgust, hate, things you don't even want to own that you have. Grief is another big one. When you try to avoid the emotional release, you'll go around it and then you'll never fully feel it and you won't fully release it. And then you know what happens? It shows up as a symptom. People come to me all the time. They haven't cried and grieved in decades. Interesting. They have sinus congestion, clogged tear ducts, swelling in the body. The water aspect of the body has a lot to do with these emotional states. Numbness, anybody here with numbness? Every single case of numbness I have seen of any kind has been related to repressed emotions. I would say 9/10 of almost everything that's going on that you don't like has to do with these emotions that you haven't released. And those are connected to the thoughts that you don't even know are causing them. Which is why I want you all to come to the day of healing, because you've got to understand deeper and read my book. You've got to have a deeper understanding of how these thoughts and emotions and what to do about them. And I'm going to spend that day helping people release, not just teaching about it, but helping people release. But these free calls are mainly for the purpose of getting this new way of looking at things even planted in your brain. It does take hearing it again and again to realize, oh, I think I'm doing that. Oh, maybe this is what I've been missing. Oh, oh. And your body starts reacting. If you're having a physical reaction when I teach today, it's your body saying, yes, yes, you're onto something. You might feel like your heart fluttering. You might feel tingling. You might feel like you want to cry. You might feel angry. You might feel, oh wait, I just noticed some of the chat. So yeah, if you're having scary numbness, do your best to just keep moving forward. You're in the right place. Um, I've worked with some people who were literally numb from head to toe, and it all came back. Within a month, they were a different person. And so I know it changed. I've seen it with my own eyes. Don't let that scare you. I mean, don't ignore it, but just know there are solutions for almost everything that I know of. I've seen, I could go on and on with the success stories I've seen that, people who were told you have 6 days to live, you can't ever eat again, you're, what you have is incurable. It just goes on and on. I mean, if you Google fibromyalgia, the first line says there is no cure for fibromyalgia. I've worked with thousands of people. In fact, I went into a science lab where they wanted to test my ability on someone with fibromyalgia, who for 15 years had been not one day without any pain from head to toe, living on pain meds and patches and injections, and like she was miserable. You can watch her video on my website. In 40 minutes, she walked out pain-free. 40 minutes. I didn't talk to her. I didn't teach her anything. I scanned her biofield. I helped her clear and harmonize her biofield. She was 99.9% pain-free. And in addition to that, within 2 weeks, both cataracts in both eyes were gone. Her spine completely straightened. Her physical therapist said, "What the hell did you do? Your spine is straight." An injury, an eardrum injury from an explosion that had affected her hearing, completely healed. Her vision 20/20, her hearing, whatever they call that, perfect. I mean, these are things we're told are impossible. So I want to get you excited and hopeful again, because it's very exciting to see what really is possible and stop believing that nothing's possible. So all it takes is willingness, and you're all willing or you wouldn't even be here on the call. And we've grown from 44 people to 122 right now. So there's a lot of people on the call that are staying. It's expanding. It's growing as I speak. All right, so yes, I see people in person. I still take a handful of one-on-one clients. They go quickly. I work with people, like I take an initial appointment with anyone who wants one, who's never had one before. And then I have certain way, then I work with the people with the most urgent cases as a VIP client. And I work with them for 1 month or longer. And most people stay 1 or 2 months if it's very severe. And then they can come into my group after that if they want more support. Many people just need 1 month. Many people, some people come straight into the group. So there's different ways. There's something for everyone. Because some people don't want one-on-one and some people don't want a group. Someone's asking a good question here, because you may have heard the term Akash or Akashic record, and that is the ancient name for the energy field that I'm referring to. Yes, it holds all information and has been known for thousands of years about this. But the new science is just catching up. And it was actually the National Institute of Health that coined the term biofield. That's not my term that I made up. They, at the National Institute of Health, if you don't know what that is, that's the American Medical Association basically considers them sort of the guru and god of all medicine. So they go to the NIH it's a huge research center base, and they do a lot of studies there. They get a lot of funding, typically for medical studies where there's going to be a drug or a new therapy that they want to test. Well, I guess they were getting enough questions about this energy field thing. So they did do a study to find out if it is legit or not. And they actually said, they did discover after their study there is a field of energy and information that surrounds every living thing, and they gave it the name biofield. So every living thing, your plants, your animals, you, anything in nature has this field. And it is invisible to most people, but you may find, like after time, it becomes visible. And I actually was born at a very young age. I discovered I could see it, but I didn't know what it was that I was seeing, and I didn't know what to do with it. And I could see the colors in the aura around a person from a very young age and around plants. And I just thought it was kind of cool. She has purple, she has yellow, she has multicolor, but now it makes sense what I was seeing. But I don't use that for anything that I do, by the way. I don't use that as information. It's just information that comes in one way, but I don't use that when I work on your field. I'm able to use I've always been an artist, and I've always used my hands. And so for me, and the hands are the largest energy centers in the body. So my hands became fully activated in that health crisis that I had when I had that spiritual or energetic awakening. I had an energetic awakening, and my hands just, it was like someone turned on a fire hydrant, and I could feel stronger than ever before with my hands. And I am able to scan your field like an MRI. That's what an MRI does. It scans your field. That's what it's doing. See, that's why people say, this is woo-woo. Well, you tell that to your radiologist when you go for your MRI. Because I don't think he thinks it's woo-woo. It's just advanced technology. Well, guess what? You and I are the most advanced technology ever created. And you have within you every bit of technology, inner technology you need for anything that would ever happen to you or happen to us. We're created with it. It's just, it isn't activated. And they talk about junk DNA. And again, I'm not a scientist, but I just know, because I was shown, that there's nothing junk about us. They say we only use 10% of our brain or something like that. Well, what's the rest of it created for? Guess what? It isn't activated yet. It's for our future, higher, bigger, expanded self that we're moving into from conversations like this, from methods like this. It will activate dormant DNA, which is not junk. And when I work on people, many of them tell me, or especially when they go through my training, but it happens when I work on them as well. People say, wow, colors are brighter. I hear sounds louder. I had my creativity turned on, and I now started painting or singing lessons or piano lessons. We've seen it increases athletic ability like overnight for most of the people I've worked on. So I've helped a lot of athletes with injuries that needed to get back out there right away. It is activating dormant abilities. Some people tell me all of a sudden they feel much more intuitive. Their meditations are deeper. They're hearing their inner guidance better. It's expanding you into more of who you already are that you don't even know. So you don't even have to be sick to benefit from it. All right, so back to the things I asked you to write down, and then I asked you, what about the time in your life? Was there anybody and anything going on that felt just like the things and the way you would describe what's going on in your body? And the answer is typically yes. Your body imprinted disturbances in your energy field from your life experiences. This caused a disturbance. Think chalk on the blackboard, that sound that makes your body want to cringe and tighten up, right? That got imprinted in your biofield and can be found in your biofield, which is the good news, because it's fast and easy to find it that way. But guess what? If all you do is analyze it by talk therapy, trying to find why you have this problem, you may not ever even remember what happened It could have been one sentence that Uncle Harry said that you don't even realize had a big impact. It could have been, excuse me, I've been talking too much today. It could have been somebody that pulled out in front of you in traffic and just startled you. It could have been, it just could have been anything that startled you, made you not feel safe. It could have been minor, major, or anywhere in between. And that imprint formed not just a remembrance of the experience, but an emotion that was disturbed. And it got imprinted in your field. And then guess what happens? Anybody or anything else that resembles that starts to feel similar. And we know that when things feel similar, they vibrate similar, they imprint. If you've ever seen the experiment with tuning forks, when you vibrate one, they all start to vibrate at the same frequency. So now you're starting to collect in your field similar vibrational disturbances from other experiences that have nothing to do with the original one. And you could analyze till you are blue in the face. And none of it you may not remember or even know it's related. It may not make sense till you start hearing it and understanding it this way. And you're not going to find these disturbances on a medical test. No one's testing your emotional, energetic field unless you go to a subtle energy research lab like I did. That's where you find equipment, and doctors don't use this equipment. The best, well-meaning doctors and natural health practitioners, they don't have that equipment. So they can't find what's really going on. So they're doing the best they can, which is changing the nutrition, trying to get your sleep dialed in, getting you off the electromagnetics early enough, getting it out of your bedroom, things like that. But that's not enough to find, we blame it all on food these days. And then everyone goes on the elimination diet. And it's often not the food at all. In fact, I've seen people who were told they had, all kinds of digestive labels, and they'd practically stopped eating everything. And once they got the clearing of the emotions and these incidents that had been imprinted in their field, they could eat junk food and not react. I mean, I'm not recommending junk food, but I'm just saying they're not reacting to food. They just thought they were. If you know how it is, if you're really angry when you sit down to eat, it's common sense. Are you going to digest the food better or worse? Emotions affect everything, everything. So if you start collecting them, so I want you to ask yourself right now and type in the chat. Tell on yourself, I call it. How many of you know? You know. Just be honest. You're still either angry at someone, hurt by someone, feeling really pissed off, you hate someone, or something that happened, you think about it, you still dream about it, you still worry about it. It could be your children too, by the way, even if it's not you. It could be a relative, a close friend, a spouse, a lover, a child. It could be someone you care about that you do this over. How many of you know you still have the feelings that didn't get resolved from a life experience or a person that you carry around? Type yes in the chat or send me a, how many of you had an experience that you still resent the person because of what they did to you? Or you still are afraid and they may not even be alive, but you still feel the fear around it. See, these are the roots. These are the roots that show up in the body. I want you to write this down. The body's the last place, not the first place, that any disturbance shows up. The body is the last place anything shows up. It starts in the invisible realm, which is the thoughts the emotions, and the energy field. And the good news is, if you address the thoughts, the emotions, and the energy field, there's nowhere else to look. And it ends the constant search on the physical level alone. So I'm going to ask you all a very important question. And I bet a lot of you have heard it's better to forgive. And I don't disagree with that. But if you don't feel the anger and the hurt and the betrayal and the resentment and the grief, and you jump to forgive, that's another one of the top 13. That is why your pain doesn't leave. So are you willing right here and right now to let me help you feel the feeling that you don't want to feel and release it? Would you like to do that today before we close the call? Nod at me, yes at me, wave at me, something. Okay, now we're talking. I get that look, that deer in the headlight look. Okay, so close your eyes, everyone. Please close your eyes. And I want you to take a deep breath into your low belly. And most importantly, I want you to open your mouth and exaggerate the exhale and let out the air, the old stale air and the old stale ideas that you didn't know you were carrying around, and put down the hammer. No beating yourself up from this moment on. No more beating yourself up. Take another deep breath into your low belly. Draw that breath up into your beautiful heart. Open your mouth and let out a big sigh. Listen to your sound. That's your own unique vibration. Listen to it. Feel it as it moves through your body on your exhale. And I'm going to ask you to follow along and use your imagination. Just go back to normal nose breathing now and let me help you. First, and just silently let the answer come. Are you willing? Are you willing to let me help you? And it's okay if you say no. It really is. There's no right answer. Just notice what comes up. You might get a feeling, an image, sound. You might just know it. You might just know the answer. Now, are you willing to feel the feeling that you don't like, don't want, and are trying to get rid of? Are you willing, not how, but are you willing to feel the feeling? It's a yes or no answer. Just let the answer come up and know that I'm right here with you and you're not alone. And you won't get more than you can handle. It's not going to happen. You won't even allow it to happen, even if you wanted to. So if you got a yes, if you're willing to let me help you further right now, and if you are willing to feel the feelings you don't like, don't want, and are trying to get rid of, I want you to pick the one feeling that you do not like the most, whether it's fear, anger, grief, or betrayal. It doesn't matter what it is. If I want you to let the one feeling you don't like the most, notice where you carry that in your body. Where is it? How do you even know you have it? Where do you feel it? And I want you to ask it to come up. Ask it to come up like it's a lost, scared little child that got stuck in the hall with no lights on. It's in your hallway, and I want you to tell it to come up. And I want you to do your very best to let the feeling come up. It's just energy, my friend. It's trapped energy. That's all it is. It's from something you already lived through and survived. You survived it, but you didn't release the emotion of it at the time. So let the feeling come up right now. Ask every drop to come up right now. And just notice what's happening. If your body starts moving, shaking, twitching, I want you to let that happen. When your body releases, many times it will want to literally shake and release. It may want to move. You may want to move. Let your body be free to move. It may start unwinding and releasing this and a lot more. So let that happen. Let any movement that starts happening, just let it happen. And remember, it's just energy that got trapped. The experience is over. You're safe. You lived through it, but the feelings never got released. Let that energy up and out now. Take one more minute here. And you may notice that you saw images or heard sounds or voices or words or music or saw geometry or all kinds of things that are interesting may have happened. Just let that happen and jot it down. And now take a deep breath in through your nose. Big, big, big breath in and a huge breath out. Big sigh. Big sigh. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Another deep breath in and out. And come all the way back. Slowly, gently, slowly, gently. And open your beautiful eyes. You did great. I could feel it. How many of you noticed something happening? Please give me a heart, a yes, a thumbs up, wave at me, something. How many of you are still feeling it? You may be feeling this more now than you even did a minute ago. So I want you all, thank you for those hearts. I love those. Keep them coming. Keep them rolling. I'm so glad that you felt it. I'm glad you're sobbing, Tracy. It's time to not hold on to that one more second. Yes, and the headache is dissipating. Yay, Rolando. Yay. Yes. And there will be a replay for this. Yes. And I want you to recognize all the wisdom you need is inside you. I love helping you. Come back for more, but pay attention because over the next 24 to 72 hours, a lot will continue to happen. And if you take a little quiet time every day to sit quietly and listen inside, you're going to start noticing more than you did ever notice before. And it requires sitting down, turning that damn phone off, and quit scrolling and put a do not disturb sign on your door. And for 5 minutes, give yourself that time. And if you can take 10 or 15, even better, but just get quiet, go outside, go in nature, even better, because nature, you know why we feel so good in nature? It emits a frequency of healing that we need to be in sync with because we are part of nature and all of nature should be vibrating on a same frequency to stay in harmony. We're the ones that get out of whack, but nature holds the frequency constant. It's not wobbling. You know why? It's not thinking, oh, maybe I'm going to get it wrong. Oh, what are they going to think of me? The oak tree becomes an oak tree. The acorns planted becomes an oak tree. The sunflower seed becomes a sunflower. It follows its blueprint. It doesn't argue with it. It doesn't outsmart it. It doesn't say, I don't like that. I want a different blueprint. I want to be taller. I want to be blonde. I want to be pink. It just follows. Nature follows. So it holds a constant frequency. You could do the same if you stop judging yourself and just be yourself. We're moving into a time where that is going to become more and more important. So this is about you discovering you, releasing what was not you to begin with, that you thought you didn't know any better. You just didn't know any better. So no judgment, no judgment. Feel to heal. Remember that don't believe everything you think. Most of it isn't true. Don't take yourself too seriously. Do your best to lighten up here and in here, and spend more time with trees and dogs and cats. They know what's going on. The humans, I wouldn't, I'm not so sure about them. The humans have a long way to go. So spend time alone with nature, dogs and cats, you're safe. But no, I'm not saying isolate. We need each other for sure. And I need you and you need me, and we're all in this together. And I appreciate you being here so much. And it's really been a pleasure today. So you'll get the replay tomorrow. Listen again and again. Please come to the full day event. It's going to be incredible. It always is. It's just the energy when you connect with all these people who want to stay well and get well and release. And most of the day will be spent. First, I'm going to teach the 13 reasons. Then we're going to just do one thing after another, like we just did, different ways to help you release the beliefs, the emotions, and then I will be doing two full, it's called biofield healing immersion is the official name of my method. And I'll be doing one in the morning and one in the late afternoon, two full sessions. So you can experience this for yourself where you get to lie down, and have a chunk of time to just receive. It doesn't involve your you just lie there. You don't have to do anything. And it's super powerful. And you'll be getting a combination of the belief clearing, the emotional clearing, and the energy field clearing all in the same day. And to give you one last example before we go, I had a woman with MS, with multiple sclerosis. She, in addition, and she was in a wheelchair. And in addition to that, she had been attacked and was carrying severe trauma from this physical attack. And to make matters even more interesting, she was a physicist. So she understood everything I teach, but she couldn't heal herself. Now imagine that. She knew more than I do about any of this. And she was stuck in a wheelchair for years, went to millions of practitioners and couldn't get it resolved. Then has this trauma layered on top of it. She bought a ticket for the full day experience, but she couldn't attend live. So all she had was the recorded replay. Buckle your seatbelt. I got an email that after listening to just the first part of the full day experience, she stood up and walked for the first time. And she said, I felt years of trauma just draining off my energy field. I have chills just remembering that day, that time when she shared this with me. This is what's possible, my friends. So if you want to go deeper, I would love to take you there. So come on the 19th to the event. The event is September 19th. It starts at 10 a.m. Pacific. If you go to, would someone put the link in the chat again for me? If you go to hh.internationalcpi.com, all the details are there. Yes, Barbara, it was a big wow, wow, wow. Like, I'm still wowed by it. And this is years ago when I first started doing the event. It's my favorite event. I would only do that event, this event if I could just do one thing, this would be it. Because so much happens. And when you feel and see when other people are going through it and you hear, you'll be inspired and you'll get your hope lit up again. So come. Some people, it looks like, are already registered. Yay, good. I get to see you again. And it's choose your price. You can sign up for as little as $27. The event is normally $497. I made it a sliding scale. And so I want no excuse. Don't give me a no. I can't afford it. I never want to hear that phrase again as long as I live. All right, my friends. I love you all so much. Thank you for being here today. Take good care. Practice what I just showed you today.
Thank you, Deborah.
Welcome. Thank you for being here. Everybody can unmute. Let's say goodbye to each other. Unmute.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful
Bye.
energy to everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love you
Goodbye.
all, everyone.
Love, that's my favorite part. Bye, everybody.